I left a message on Facebook today about drugs and psychotropic drugging, and I got a few different responses, some private and some posted on the wall in regards to their feelings about what I had actually posted. I'm sorry if I offended anyone, but that's most likely because all the information isn't known. All right, I don't really know, what's going to happen in Iran and if we're going to go to war. I don't know if Obama actually killed Osama bin Laden. I don't know if 9/11 was an inside job. But what I do know is psychiatry and the pharmaceutical drug companies, the people that want to convince you that there is a problem with you and they have a drug to fix this, is absolutely and totally a lie. Now, it's not hard to actually prove this, since they themselves have openly said many, many times that they actually don't know what causes mental illness, nor do they have a cure. If you have used the word bipolar, ADHD, clinical depression, again, unfortunately, those were just voted in, those illnesses. To give you an example, there's something called the DSM. It's the Diagnostical Statistical Manual, and this is for psychiatrists. It says psychiatry's diagnostic criteria are literally voted into existence and inserted into the American Psychiatric Association's Diagnostic and Statistical Manual for Mental Disorders, the DSM. What is voted in is a system of classification of symptoms that is drastically different from and foreign to anything in medicine. None of the diagnoses are supported by objective evidence of physical disease, illness, or science. They have codes next to them, and that's how they bill. All right? Now, psychiatrists have stated, and you can ask your psychiatrist because they're not allowed to lie to you, ask them about chemical imbalance. For instance, Dr. David Kaiser, psychiatrist, says, quote, "Modern psychiatry has yet to convincingly prove the genetic biological cause of any single mental illness. Patients have been diagnosed with quote-unquote chemical imbalances, despite the fact that no tests exist to support such a claim, and there is no real conception of what a correct chemical balance would look like." Another psychiatrist said, "There's no biological imbalance. When people come to me and they say, 'I have a biochemical imbalance,' I say, 'Show me your lab test.' There are no lab tests. So what's the biological imbalance or biochemical imbalance?" Now, interesting enough is you probably would take psychotropic drugs to relieve depression. Maybe a doctor or a psychiatrist had told you that you have a specific mental disease and you need to start taking these pills, right? Now, this is quoted by Dr. Rex Cowardly, psychiatrist and director of National Institute of Mental Health, 1995. "We do not know the causes of any mental illness. We don't have the methods of curing these illnesses yet." Okay? Now listen to this. This is Dr. Joseph Johnson, psychiatrist, during a court deposition in 2003. What's a cure? It's just that it isn't a term that we don't use in the medical psychiatric profession. They don't use the word cure. Drugs don't cure. They mask. Which was why I wrote that thing on Facebook. Because if I say to somebody, psychotropic drugs are literally bad for you, they get extremely defensive. But it's no different than friends I've had who were on drugs, who I said, "Dude, why are you doing drugs?" They get defensive. And each give the same excuse. Okay? Or justification, or whatever you call it. I gave the same justification as well. Because it helps. Well, I sure felt like it helped me when I was on drugs, and I do marijuana and stuff like this, I actually felt like it helped. But the thing is it's just masking, okay? And yes, you probably won't feel the emotional pain because you are numb and you are on drugs. Just like someone who's on drugs, street drugs, are probably taking it because they have some sort of mental or emotional pain that they're dealing with. So you drug yourself. Now, it trips me out because my mom, my family, cops, police officers, teachers in my area of my school all ran campaigns of say no to drugs. There are facts out now, okay? And there's information out there. And the same people that preach not to actually do drugs, to say no to drugs, are now the same people that are taking them and putting their kids on them. Now, if Ritalin actually solved a chemical imbalance, ADHD, how come it's being sold as a street drug illegally? Because it's primarily made of cocaine, methamphetamines. It's so hard to believe that this is going on. And the hardest thing for anyone to confront is evil. And 13 million children in the United States on drugs is pure evil. Do your homework. Find out yourself. There are alternatives. You can go to cchr.com and you can find alternatives. Okay? A very close family member of mine defended psychotropic drugs until I took her to the museum that actually displayed psychiatry's complete and total history. And in the end, she said, well, the reason why I take psychotropic drugs, to be honest, is it just seems so easy. Because it is easy. It's an easy, quick fix. It isn't real. You have friends that are on psychotropic drugs. You have family. You can do a lot to help people. You need to be informed. Because there's no way you can be you completely while on a drug. Alright? You are way too big. You are way too special. You have way too much to offer the world than to actually take any kind of drugs. There are ways to confront and handle the problems and the reason that you felt like you needed drugs in the first place. Alright? There are ways to handle these things. The people that are on drugs will all very much consist and it's a very standard thing for these people to be very weak-minded. They tend to be very insecure, very inconfident, very incompetent, and that is a standard thing you would find of someone on drugs. You don't find someone out there killing it in life and doing extremely well and going, well, I have this depression thing. And there's your first clue. Production equals morale. So if someone's depressed, usually it has to do with the fact that they literally don't produce. Get them to produce and they can feel better. Then you have the body stuff. Nutrients, vitamins. There's all kinds of alternatives. There's all kinds of ways that we can fix this problem. Psychiatry and the pharmaceutical companies are being taken out so fast in such big ways. GlaxoSmithKline just got sued for $3 billion, and that just literally unleashes a lot of people to actually start going after these merchants of chaos who actually feed off and lie to people. So get informed, go to cchr.com and learn for yourself, and hopefully some of this has assisted you, and it is always intended to help and to actually make you more knowledgeable so that you can actually excel and exceed and reach your full potential, and you will never do that on drugs of any kind, whether legal or illegal. Thanks.